inside of me and you.
I know there's ups and downs, but here's where my happiness is found.
In this place, it can be so bold. Our home away from home, neither new nor old. Stop and let me give you some advice. You gotta be your best self in this paradise. I feel the daily stress when all I want is to disconnect. I need my other family and the time and space to just be free.
At home, I don't feel much like me, but here make a new reality.
In this place, you can be so bold. Our home away from home, neither new nor old. Stop and let me give you some advice. You gotta be your best self in this paradise. In this place, you can be so bold. Our home away from home, neither new nor old. Stop and let me give you some advice. You gotta be your best self in this paradise. Be your best self in this paradise.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome. My name is Phil Cohn. I'll be hosting tonight on behalf of this great night for Camp and Frankel. Welcome to our virtual campfire. This is the first of 3 celebrations in which we hope you'll join us. And the other 2, thankfully, are in person, coming up with our 75th gala to celebrate our 75 years. Baruch Hashem, we've been around that long and we should be around a lot longer. And when we celebrate camp, we celebrate Judaism itself, the Ruach, the bond, the common denominator that is the thread through our life, through our lives, all the things that bring friendship and spring life upon us. We're lucky to have Camp and Frankel. We're lucky to have each other. And I can't help but reflect for a second about the wonderful times I've had at camp and the friendships I've carried with me my entire life, the memories I've carried with me. I remember attending having a kid as my camper in 1979. 20 years later, in 1999, I was at that kid's wedding, who married another Camp and Frankel alum. That was Dov Lutzker and Angela Niemer. And as Dov's father so wonderfully put it that night, thank God for that magical place called Camp and Frankel. And another great memory of mine is walking down that famous path in Camp and Frankel, which we've all walked so many times from one side of camp to the other. And a little kid walked right up beside me and sprung up a conversation with me. Little did I know from that conversation, a friendship would stem for almost 40 years now. And that child became our current director, Aaron Hadley. But maybe the most special moment I ever had at Camp and Frankel is when I went back to visit one summer, and Ida asked me up to lead a song, a revenue or something, and my nephew was there, Noah Pollock. And I think Noah might be on with us tonight. And if he is, hello, Noah. But Noah, I pulled him up with me to do the song, and it was that bonding moment between myself and a family member, sharing Camp and Frankel and passing it from one generation to another. And it was one of the most special moments in my life, as so many moments at Camp and Frankel have been. So with that being said, we are incredibly grateful to have you tonight. I'm looking forward to revisiting some of the old camp songs. And again, really hoping we see you at the next 2 events, which are in person. November 2nd, write it down, our 75th celebration of Camp and Frankel and the Jewish Federation in Clayton, Missouri, St. Louis, Missouri, on November 2nd this year. It'll be one heck of an event. We hope you'll make a note of it, and we will be glad sending in information to you about it. And of course, the other event will be this summer when we have our Camp and Frankel reunion, the weekend the camp ends. All right, that being said, I'm going to tell Alexa to be quiet. Alexa, be quiet. Don't ask me how she got started, but she came right on. Alexa, be quiet. Alexa, stop. maybe that's what you're wanting to tell me is Phil, stop. So I will, and we will move on. I'm looking forward to hearing uh, the stories that our fellow campers and alumni will share, some of the camp songs. And tonight we're going to hear some from some of the alumni, special people. That being said, if it's all right with you, Steph, I think I can jump right into our first special story. And speaking of memories of Camp in Frankel, the first story is from Peter Mayer, who's had an incredibly distinguished career as a White House correspondent. And we're so proud to have him as one of our alum. And the second story will be with Randy Huberman, who is also my camper, and loved that kid. And he's become known and loved throughout generations of camp as Colonel. And with that, can we cue up Peter?
Shalom, Camp Ben Frankel Chavarim. My name is Peter Mayer. I first went to the best camp in the land when it, the camp, and I, by the way, were about 8 or 9 years old. I'll let you do the math on that one. Along with the values that were instilled at home in Granite City, Illinois with my wonderful family, so much of my Jewish lifelong journey began right there at CBF. I still remember the camp director, Hy Ruffman, and his terrific wife, EJ, magnificent role models and leaders for the campers and the counselors. The camp back then was housed in old and rather hot and stuffy CCC, that's Civilian Conservation Corps barracks, but we enjoyed every minute of it. It was right there in Giant City State Park, near where the camp is today. We slept in bunk beds, quite an adventure for a young kid from Granite City, along with all the fellow campers from all over southern Illinois. We sang Jewish songs around the campfire, songs like Zum Gali Gali. I can almost hear it now. And of course, traditional old-time campfire songs like She'll Be Coming Around the Mountain. All right there where we swam in Little Grassy Lake and took hikes in the park. Great memories like the ones being made now by campers, including our 3 grandchildren, veteran Camp Ben Frankel campers. Mazel tov to the best camp in the land on this 75th milestone.
Hello, Camp Ben Frankel. My name is Randy Huberman. I'm coming to you on this lovely sunny day in Seattle, Washington. I was a camper and a counselor in the mid-'80s to the mid-'90s, and then I have been back on staff every year since 2017. When I first started going to camp, I came from a small central Illinois town, and for me, camp was a place where I developed my Jewish identity and learned most of what I eventually would come to know about being Jewish. It went on to become not only a place where I could form a Jewish identity, but where I formed most of the identity of who I am today and made all of the lifelong friendships that have turned into all of my found family. I would like to say Mazel Tov to camp for 75 years and remind everyone that although what Camp Ben Frankel is has changed over these 75 years, the need for a positive place for young people to get to express themselves fully and be who they are in company with people who care about them is still very much a need. And I'm so glad that camp exists and will continue to exist for many years going forward. So Mazel Tov, Camp Ben Frankel, and I hope to see you this summer.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you, Randy. And maybe before we go forward, Peter, if you don't mind me putting you on the spot, if you have a few live comments, love to hear from you. Again, Peter's had such a distinguished career, and we're so proud to have him as a part of our alum. Peter, are you there?
I am here, Phil, and thank you for your leadership, and the same to Aaron and SK and everyone who continue to make Camp Ben Frankel a dream come true for so many campers. I messaged Aaron, Phil, that just yesterday I found this. I don't know if you can see it. It says Around Ben Frankel. It was a newspaper that was published back when I was a camper in the 1950s. I think I'm probably the oldest camper on this Zoom. And I just want to read you from the top of it. It says, editorial. Southern Illinois does not have a large Jewish population. That is one reason why we think our 2-week session at camp is so important. It gives us a chance to meet and learn to understand children of our own faith. Here we not only study, but study and play in a wholesome, relaxed Jewish atmosphere. The friendships we form at camp somehow are strong, continue all through the years. The fun of swimming, canoeing, and volleyball, the accomplishments we achieve in our classes, the excitement right before appearing in the talent or fashion show, these won't easily be forgotten. And it says, signed by the editors. And as you mentioned, I was a journalist in my previous life. And one of my earliest reporting, this may be my earliest reporting, is right here, and it's in Camp Ben Frankel, a newsletter, and it is headlined, Candy. Candy bars were first sold in both barracks on Friday, June 21st. They were handled in the girls' barracks by Cecilia Falkoff and by Paul Greenspan in the boys' barracks. Only 2 a day was the limit for each camper. So just a couple of things that just coincidentally I found in a box that was saved by my mother, Zichrono Livracha. So there you have it, around Ben Frankel. Thank you for letting me share that with you. And as I told Aaron in the chat, I regret I have to click off at the top of the hour to go to a synagogue board meeting. Our shul is about a mile from my house, so I have to scoot over there. So regrets on that. I'll look forward to the recording. Thank you, Phil, for letting me yak.
Well, Peter, I'll put you on the spot anytime. That was great. And by the way, despite your distinguished reporting career, apparently you peaked at Camp and Frankel with that article. So you hit your peak early. And two candy bar limit, nothing like a little bit of sugar to keep those kids going all day and driving the counselors nuts. So thanks very much for sharing that with us. Okay. I want to introduce a very special addition to Camp and Frankel in the recent years. Only except when I do that, I want to make sure I'm in the right place, so I tell you the right thing about him. Neil Katz, who is both a rabbi, he's also a singer and songwriter. He's been making Jewish folk music for 30 plus years. He's originally from Virginia Beach, Virginia. He grew up in youth groups and summer camps and in the Reform movement, and was a song leader for 3 summers in Israel, working with Team Israel trips. But in addition to those 3 summers as a student rabbi and a song leader at Camp and Frankel, Neil song led for progressive Jewish summer camps in the former Soviet Union in the late 90s, 1999. And last summer, Rabbi Neil returned to Camp and Frankel as an artist in residence and helped the leadership and training write a new camp song. The result, that camp song is now played every year at camp. And Neil, if you would be so kind, play that song for us.
Well, so I'm not actually going to play that song. What happened was I worked with the students. I worked with the students there, and then they were going to take over, and then I had to leave. So I actually, Phil, I appreciate the invite, but I don't have that actual camp song, but I'm glad that they sing it. So
I've heard you sing. We'll take any song from you.
all right. Well, you're getting that being said, let's pretend that I wrote Hine Matov, because that's what you're getting. Here's our psalm text. Just a little taste, a reminder. I'm so glad to be with Camp Ben Frankel. I happen to be in a hotel suite right now because right above me I've got to go to a Jewish National Fund event. And knowing that this was going to coincide, I asked them to set up a room for me because this was important that I got to spend time with my Ben Frankel family. So I know you're on mute, but if you want to sing along, we're going to do a couple versions of Hine just to get us in the singing mood. Hine matovu manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matovu manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov shevet achim gam yachad. How pleasant it is, how naim, how wonderful it is that we can sit together, sing together, even virtually, as achim, as brothers and sisters. Hine matovu manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Now, when I was there in the late 90s, early 2000s, this is how we used to sing it. Hine matov umanayim, umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Now hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Yada-da-da, yada-da-da, yada-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, yada-da-da, yada-da-da, yada-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Well, hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Yada-da-da, yada-da-da, yada-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, yada-da-da, yada-da-da, yada-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Last time, hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad.
Yeah, that was beautiful. Thank you. I'll follow your tour whenever you go places to play. All right. Thank you, Neil. I want to queue up another special family that I don't mind telling you that they've been a part of Camp and Frankel individually or collectively for some 50 years, their family, and them and their family. And I also should point out they've been extraordinarily generous givers to the Federation, and we're so appreciative of them. And I'm going to ask if we could pull up the story from Steve and Sherry Solomon, please.
In Cairo, Illinois, and I only went a couple of years, when 3 bar mitzvah years, and then I kind of got away from it. But like I say, the most important thing I remember from him was an Israeli soldier that was part of the camp faculty there, and he talked about the war, and all that, which was really interesting. The rest of it was just, camp life and different things that do in camp.
Do you remember what years?
It was in the early 50s, like 52, 53, And then I was being bar mitzvah, so I didn't go back because my parents wanted me to work with a rabbi nearby, and I didn't. I only just went there a couple of years.
There were very few Jews in our little towns.
Yeah.
So once a month we would go to Benton, Illinois, and get together with the other Jewish kids from all these little towns. And so that really helped us as Jews, where there were 5 Jews in our whole school. So and then once a year we met in St. Louis. And at that time, East St. Louis was a desirable place to live. And so there were quite a few Jews in Belleville and East St. Louis. And so we'd come to St. Louis and we played basketball, and it was Lou Abramowitz was in charge that period of time.
I just remember, where it was. It was kind of a unique area, there at the Giant City National Park. Yeah, that was kind of a treat being in that area.
And being with other Jews.
Yeah, being with other Jewish kids.
And now with anti-Semitism rampant, it's so wonderful that these Jewish kids can get together and interact with each other and how to handle it. Really, really, really important now. Hi, Ruffman.
He was instrumental,
He was instrumental in our strong Jewish convictions. He was with the Jewish Federation.
He lived in St. Louis, but he was in Illinois.
And he would tout, he wanted people to go to Ben Frankel. Mazel tov, Camp Ben Frankel.
Stephen Cherry hit it on the nose. One of the greatest Jewish leaders ever to grace this area was Hy Ruffman. He and EJ were a dynamic team, and they started Ben Frankel, kept Ben Frankel going, grew Ben Frankel, and made it the beloved camp that it grew to be. Thanks, Stephen Cherry, and I'm glad you brought up the real pioneers of Camp Ben Frankel. I remember working with and being a counselor under Hy, and it was one of the greatest experiences of my life. I want to introduce now Russell Mark Weiner, who his camp name is The Stand, because he's a musician, a producer in Pasadena, California, and was an artist in residence at Camp Ben Frankel in 2019, 21, and in 22. In fact, he ran the music program all summer at our all-important 2020 online camp, which was incredibly innovative on Aaron's part, Aaron and SK, to get that started during that dubious time of COVID. And during that fateful summer, he wrote a Hebrew song with an Israeli staff member named Appa. They worked long distance to get this song written, and the song was called Tamid Korovim, and it has been sung at Camp Ben Frankel ever since. Russell and his wife, who's a cellist, Mika Larson, have a band called The Next Doors. And Russell translated the song to English for their debut album. The remarkable thing, again, just so many magical things about Camp Ben Frankel, that song ended up getting radio played nationwide and was their #1 most played song of the 2023 on streaming services. So here to perform, all right here, live for us tonight, live for us tonight, are Russell Mark Weiner, otherwise known as The Stand.
All right. Well, thank you so much, and it's so nice to be here. Yeah, I've only, first stepped foot on Camp Ben Frankel less than 5 years ago, so I've got, 70 years worth of people and information to catch up on, and this has already been a great way to do that, and I know there's a lot more stories to come, which is awesome. That said, I've known Aaron H. for well over half my life. I've known Peter Mayer's son the same amount, and it's been so fun getting to see his kids then out at camp. And summer camp's all about music, and so it's about sharing music. It's about a little call and response, and this song was designed with a little call and response in mind. So I'm just going to preface this by don't unmute, but I do want some help on the choruses, and it's real easy. It's just call and response. So I'm going to go something like this. We're like family, and then I want all of you to just sing the exact same thing back. Family. And then I say, from far and near, and you'll say, from far and near. And you can sing as brilliantly or terribly, as loudly or softly as you want in your own spaces, but just make sure that we feel the Ruach, and I want to feel it all the way out here on the West Coast. So without further ado, yes, this is all right here. Another day we're given here to laugh and to sing. While the world is living in fear, we will face the storm in a place for you and me. And into my mind comes a forgotten melody. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. All right, here we go. We're like family. Neil got you warmed up on some Hebrew, and it's a good thing because we're going to do a chorus in Hebrew, and you're going to sing along with that too. And again, it's just a call and response. So you got this. We're not going to practice. I know you can do it. Here we go. אנחנו משפחה של חברים, למרות המרחק תמיד קרובים. אנחנו קבוצה של כוכבים, למרות המרחק תמיד קרובים. למרות המרחק תמיד קרובים. Wherever we are, we're all right here. All right, thanks for singing along, and thank you for throwing up that fire emoji. That's how I know oh, wait, that's just part of the background. Well, anyway, it's still been a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to hearing more songs and more stories for the rest of the meeting. Thanks for letting me be here.
Thank you. Love that song too. What a great song. And my little 3-year-old nephew's on here, and I could see him watching and nodding to the song. Just a great way to touch another generation. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
That being said, speaking of another generation, this next story comes from a guy who spent a generation literally at Camp in Frankel, 25 years. He was there so long they began to call him, his nickname was Old Man. And in camp years, I guess he was. Can we cue up Mark Perlman and Jessica Sender?
Hello, Camp and Frankel community. Congratulations to all of us on 75 years of camp. My name is Mark, Old Man Perlman. Some of you might know me. Spent more than 20 summers at Camp and Frankel, and it's really made me the person I am today. From just the fun I had in the summers as a camper, to developing as a person with real life skills as a counselor and on senior staff. And now, because of the connection camp gave me, the Jewish identity, and the love of Zionism, it's led me to my life in Israel, where I've lived for the last 18 years. I'm happily married, family, and I give camp a lot of credit for all of this. So congratulations to all of us, to Aaron for keeping it going in his stewardship the last, I don't know how many years, but to many, many more. And congratulations again.
Camp in Frankel means family and community. I was lucky enough to go to camp with my sister for 9 of the 10 years that I attended, and being able to share that experience together is something I cherish. The memories and songs persist. We often text each other, "Remember when?" or lyrics from song sessions out of the blue. I have a couple of favorite camp traditions. One is definitely Friendship Circle. I always felt such a sense of peace and community during Friendship Circle, and even now those songs sung around the campfire stuck with me. Another is Havdalah. Similar to Friendship Circle, that time together as a whole camp, finding community through Jewish traditions, has lasted throughout my life. Ida Stack always said that CBF was a singing camp, and song sessions after breakfast, lunch, and dinner remain some of my happiest memories. I want to share a big mazel tov to CBF on reaching 75 years. Camp Ben Frankel has persisted through lots of different eras and has always returned to its roots of providing an incredible summer for kids. To another 75.
I love that. And Jessica's so right that we always return to our roots. And this is my 55th year being involved with Camp in Frankel. And one thing has always helped me to return to my roots as a person is to return to Camp in Frankel in one form or another, whether it's a get-together or a reunion. And I love what Jessica said. That being said, I can't think of a better segue into Neil, if you could lead us in Or Chadash.
Great, thank you. And I apologize, I've got to log off afterward to run to this other program where I'm offering a blessing up there. I spent summers of 99, 2000, 2001 at Ben Frankel, and then I was there last summer. I've been a rabbi at one congregation. I got a job right out of rabbinic school at a small community in Tyler, Texas, and I've never left. I'm in year 21 of a 3-year contract, literally. And I think a lot of that has to do with my change in attitude having gone to CBF. The idea of having outsized impact when you're in small towns and serving small communities. That sense of shlichut, that sense of impact that you can have Jewishly, got drilled into my brain at CBF in ways that I don't think I had seen in large communities. So I owe a lot of my professional life to CBF. So this was a new song for me back in those days, and I used to teach it to the kids. So I'm going to share tonight Or Chadash, my most famous song. And when I say most famous, that means about 4 people have heard it before. That's how Jewish music works. If you know it, on mute, feel free to sing along. Or Chadash, a new light will shine. Al Zion Ta'ir, around Jerusalem, bringing us home to the land of our people. Or Chadash, and a new light will shine. Unto Avram you issued a command. Lech Lecha, and I'll show you a new land. And a covenant was sworn that our nation would be born, and we'd grow to be numerous as the sand. Or Chadash, a new light will shine. Al Zion Ta'ir, on Jerusalem, bringing us home to the land of our people. Or Chadash, and a new light will shine. Driven away for hundreds of years, in 1,000 lands we've cried a million tears. With our hearts turned toward the skies, we looked homeward with our eyes and prayed that our return would soon draw near. Or Chadash, a new light will shine. Al Zion Ta'ir, on Jerusalem, bringing us home to the land of our people. Or Chadash, and a new light will shine. And now how glorious it seems, we've come home to the land of our dreams. Over the mountains the sun rises high. It's a new day, it's our homeland, it's our time. Oh Chadash, a new light will shine. Ta'ir, on Jerusalem, to the land of our people. Or Chadash, and a new light will shine. Before I do the last chorus one last time, Mazel Tov to Ben Frankel on 75 years. 75 is the Hebrew word of bitachon, which is security, strength, confidence. As we've arrived at this moment with bitachon, may our next 75 be the same. Or Chadash, a new light will shine. Al Zion Ta'ir, on Jerusalem, bringing us home to the land of our people. Or Chadash, and a new light will shine.
Wow. What a beautiful, beautiful song. And may that light continue to shine as we remember and pray. What a timely song as we remember and pray for our brethren in Eretz Yisrael. Great, great song. Thank you so much for that. I love that song. Okay, we're going to hear another story. And this one, if I interject, is from Malcolm Zwick, whom I remember when I first met Malcolm in 1978, when back then we used to take off from camp from the parking lot of a Agudas Achim synagogue, and he came and brought his little 6-year-old kid, sat him on the hood, and that kid cried and cried and was not going to get on that bus. And Malcolm signaled me over. I didn't know him. He didn't know me. And I did the only thing that a smart brother would do. I brought my older sister. And my sister charmed that kid right off that trunk, right off the hood of that car and into that bus. And that kid was Burton Zwick. And we struck up a conversation, as in those days, Burton was so prolific in doing when he was 7 years old. That conversation has also lasted for some 45 years, almost 50 years. And so lucky to be a part of the Zwick family, and so lucky to have the Zwick as a part of our camp family. That being said, let's cue up the patriarch of that family, Malcolm Zwick.
My name is Malcolm Zwick. I went to Camp Ben Frankel starting in 1957. So I'm probably the oldest camper that you're going to have on this particular recording of campers. I went to Camp Ben Frankel when it was a Giant City State Park. There were a couple of dorms, a cafeteria type restaurant situation. We were very close to Devil's Stand Table Rock, which we often walked to take a look at. None of us were brave enough to stand on stand table, and I think it's against the law now to stand on it. We had great fun at Camp Ben Frankel. Ida Stack would lead us in singing, and of course I knew very little. In fact, I knew really nothing, but the first song we learned how to sing was Hi Da 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 Da, so it wasn't long to learn those lyrics. I was able to learn those lyrics, and I was a spoiled kid, like a lot of young men were, young children were at that age. And I was unhappy until they gave me a job to help with the cleaning in the kitchen and the grounds. And they gave me a special title for helping do some of the work. And I thought that was great that they wanted me to help them. So I liked that part. I trained for Bar Mitzvah Camp Ben Frankel. My training was probably not what you would like. I know very little, if any, Hebrew, for example, but I've been very involved in Jewish life my entire life. Been president of the Federation. My wife's been president of the Federation. My son's been president of the Federation. My daughter is an officer of the Federation now on this Camp Ben Frankel project. And that's a little bit of history about who I am and where I came from.
Thank you, Malcolm. And I remember when Malcolm was president, and his son and his wife, and they did a great job. All right, Lior Melnick, some of you may remember as a CBF alum, a former counselor from St. Louis, and currently living in New York. He's a member of an a cappella group called 613. And Liam uses his incredibly powerful bass voice, vocal in Concrete, which is an award-winning a cappella group. He's also with Kol Hanashima, the Kol Hanashima Choir, and we are thrilled to have 613 here tonight to sing a song in honor of the upcoming holiday, Passover.
Hi everyone, my name is Lior Melnick. I was a camper at Camp Ben Frankel from 2003 to 2005 and a staff member from 2007 to 2009. I'm also very lucky that my entire immediate family has had involvement with Camp Ben Frankel. My siblings, Nitai, Gil, and Noga, all attended as campers and then worked on staff for many years. My mom worked as the director of the day camp for 1 year, and even my dad was a visiting physician. I'm here, like the rest of us, to congratulate Camp Ben Frankel on 75 incredible years of Jewish camping. It's a testament to anyone and everyone who has ever attended camp or worked at camp or been involved in the planning of camp in any way, including everyone here on this call, the Camp Ben Frankel community. It's really an incredible milestone. It's not a small number. And I think it's so important, the work that camp has been doing over all these years to provide a rich, encouraging, nourishing Jewish experience. Some of you may know that I am a member of a professional Jewish a cappella group. It's called 613. What you may not know is that my foundation for Jewish music and for the love of Jewish singing was actually founded at Camp Ben Frankel during song sessions that happen 3 times a day, every single day. All the ruach, the singing, the incredible repertoire. Very indebted to the fantastic song leaders that I had during my time as a camper and a staff member. And it's such a meaningful part of camp for me and holds a great number of memories. For this call, I was hoping that we would be ready to introduce our brand new Passover parody video. Unfortunately, we're still just a few days away on the production schedule, but I will post that to the Camp Ben Frankel alumni Facebook page early next week, and I hope you all enjoy that song when it comes out. I really enjoyed making it. But instead, I'll be sharing tonight another one of my favorites, Passover parody. This is Billy Joel Passover. Enjoy, and early happy Passover, Chag Sameach.
It's 9 o'clock on a Seder day. The annual crowd's shuffled in. There's a Zadie sitting next to me, making kiddush for all of his kin. But
He says, sons, do you have any inquiries? Like why we trade bread for matzot? And this maror we eat, dipping bitter and sweet. And why we don't keep the door closed?
oh, ma, nishtana.
La da di di da.
God set us free from the Pharaoh man. That's why we rejoice tonight. And Jews, although pursued by the enemy, with God's help it turned out all right. Nation of Israel was tired and sore, praying for redemption someday. Moshe Rabbeinu came and burst through the door. He said, hey, let us out of this country.
And saying no to God, roar on a plague attack. You ought to know by now. All that hard work gave us broken backs, but then we were gone in a hurry.
Well, the Pharaoh, he changed his mind.
Yeah, but we never had it down.
Matzah's bread can't rise up. It's time to move out. We're moving out.
Out of Egypt.
Oh, yeah.
Clean the house, change plans, strangers in a strange land, celebration, Jewish liberation, reading from the Haggadah, Adirhu and Chagadah, 10 plagues, 4 sons, who knows one? I know one.
Keep the house clean, Father buffer to Zuzim, Geffen Liebers and Kedem, next year in Jerusalem, Dainu, Charosed, we sold all of our chametz. Tell me what is all this for? I can't take much more maror.
God set a bush on fire, Moses saw it burn, and still today we're learning. God set a bush on fire, and when we are gone, we'll see the flame burn on and on and on and on and on and on and
All cups are red.
so white. Tonight is different from all other nights. It's 'cause of what God did for us when we made our exodus.
I am amazed at the level of talent sometimes that we're blessed to have it come from be an alumni of Camp and Frankel. And that was one of the most entertaining things I've ever seen, especially about Passover. Speaking of great talents to come from Camp and Frankel, this next story, uh, I remember this girl when she was just a little kid at camp. And what a sweet, sweet girl she was, and her entire family. I remember her brother and sister at camp. And I'd love to hear from her. If you could, Maya, cue up Jeff and Naomi.
Hi, my name is Jeff Gels. I'm the recently retired waterfront director of Camp Ben Frankel. I was a waterfront director there for about 20 years. Started way back with Steve Lowe, and then with Rick Codner, and then with Aaron Hadley was the last director I worked for. All tremendous men, great leaders, great camp leaders, were really enthused about what the kids could get out of camp, and try to do everything they could to make the camp as good as they could for those kids. So some of my favorite memories of Camp Ben Frankel, teaching the kids to swim. Obviously, we did some programs with stand-up paddle boards. We 1 or 2 or 3 years, we even had some sailboats there, and I had some kids from the sailing club at SIU come and teach the kids to sail. Fishing, I'm a fisherman, so I've always liked having the kids catch some of their first fish of their life. I always thought it was a pretty cool camp experience. And then, of course, the swim across the lake at the end of the year, which is always a little bit scary and frustrating for the waterfront guy and for the waterfront staff, but it's kind of a rite of passage for the kids. So I know the campers always really love that, and that was always kind of something they look forward to, is swimming across the lake at the end of the summer. So I hope you guys have a great reunion, and go Camp Ben Frankel.
Mazel Tov, Camp Ben Frankel. I am Naomi Abelson-Gahn, and this is
Dalia Prielgun.
Yes, and we are so excited to be celebrating Camp Ben Frankel. I am a proud alumna of the best camp in the land, having attended from 1990 when I was in the youngest girls cabin to 99 when I was the CIT director. I am so grateful for camp, for instilling in me a foundation for a really strong Jewish identity that has led me in my life personally and professionally. And camp is alive in our home, right? Because we like to sing camp songs at nighttime, right?
Yes.
Yeah, what songs do we like to sing?
We like to sing
Eli Eli.
the Eli Eli.
And we like to sing The Grove of Eucalyptus and many others. So cheers to 75 more.
What a great night, and what a wonderful way to celebrate an incredible institution like Camp and Frankel and our Jewish Federation. And I want to turn it over now to our director, Aaron Hadley, who again, I remember as a little kid at camp, and little did I know from that one conversation walking down the path, we'd become so close for the last 40 years. But I'm going to turn it over to him, and you'll see why. What a great guy he is. Aaron?
Thanks, Phil. I'm Aaron. Thank you all for coming, for making this time. Thanks, Phil. When I was a kid, Phil was my camp counselor. He was my counselor actually 2 summers. And that was a big, big, big deal to me when I was a kid. And obviously it's a big deal to me now, because that was part of what inspired me to love camp and kind of made a career out of it. So that matters. Thanks, Phil. Still matters today, too, because we all know care so much about this organization, this institution. You've made time tonight. You know the power of summer camp. You know how important camp is for kids, how important people like Phil are who inspire kids. You've heard so many stories of people here who've been inspired by their experiences at camp, even having attended in the 50s. Think about that. It's amazing. There's a lot of legacy going on here. And just a few years ago, we started tracking the number of legacy campers at camp. Any kids whom had a parent or a grandparent attend. And as of last summer, 36% of our campers had a parent or grandparent previously attend camp. We don't know how far those numbers go back, but it's the highest that we've had in recent history. And we're really excited about that. And you may recall Sherry Solomon in her video was talking about about anti-Semitism today. We know, everybody here knows, that the current generation of kids who may come to camp, they need a Jewish place that's safe. They need a refuge. They need a place where they can be included and welcomed and loved, and where they can be inspired by other role models, proud Jewish role models. Your presence here, your attendance, helps provide that support so that we can help these kids and the staff thrive. Everything we all do here helps that happen. Coming up this summer, you heard Phil mention it at the top, you can come and show that support in person and get back in touch with the place and the memories and the songs and the people. July 19th through 21st at our campsite for alumni, for current camp families, for all. Come join us. You can register now at our website there, campbenfrankel.org. We'd love to have you. But wait, there's more. There's many ways we're celebrating our 75th anniversary this year. In addition to tonight and the reunion, we also are going to have an event in St. Louis. We're going to have a gala. It's going to be November 2nd. That's Saturday, November 2nd, at the Clayton Plaza Hotel in St. Louis. You can save the date now. We're going to celebrate 75 years together. We're going to have some dinner and dancing and music and a lot of fun. Tickets will go on sale in the coming months, but in the meantime, we have sponsorships available. If you're interested, you can reach out. But stay tuned. Follow our social media. If you don't get our emails, check in. We'll get you on the email list, but we'll be sending out more information soon. So stay tuned. We're also excited. We've got some breaking news. We just launched a new program at camp. It's our 5-day starter session for first-time campers who are current 1st through 5th or rising 2nd through 6th graders. It's a 5-day starter session at camp to allow kids to dip their toe in the water, so to speak, the waters of Lake Little Grassy, and find out what it's all about, so they can then come for longer in the future. So there's more information about that also on our website, or you can scan that QR code if you'd like. But feel free to help spread the word. This is brand new and we're excited about it. That's the 5-day starter session. And then the other thing I wanted to mention here, we're talking about legacy. Camp and Frankel's part of the Life and Legacy program, which is a program of the Harold Grinspoon Foundation. And they're helping organizations like ours build a long-lasting legacy to ensure that our organization's around for 75 years and more in the future. You can help us. You can join our group, our growing group of 45 people who have already made a forever pledge to leave a gift in their will, their trust, their retirement account, or so on. And we would love for you to join us in participating as we're trying to grow that number, especially as we move to our next 75 years. So if you'd like some information, or if you'd like to join our Life and Legacy program, please reach out. I think that's about all I've got to say, but I also want to recognize Phil for his emceeing and all of his many years and commitment to our organization, as he's our current board chair and has helped steer our turnaround. And then also thank you to all the wonderful speakers and musicians tonight. I'm going to hand it back over to Phil.
Thanks, Aaron. It's really been an incredible experience and an honor to host this tonight. I couldn't be more excited to celebrate 75 years of Camp and Frankel. When we celebrate, when we think about the greatest source of a positive Jewish identity, it's said that there's none better than a trip to the land of Israel and a Jewish summer camp. And there's none better in summer camps than the best camp in the land. And I want to thank everybody for sharing their stories tonight. Jeff Geltz, Naomi Goen, Randy Huberman, Peter Mayer, Mark Perlman, also known as Old Man, Jessica Sender, Steve and Sherry Solomon, Malcolm Zwick. I want to thank our song leaders, Neil Katz, Leora Melnick, Aaron, Russell Weiner, Aaron Hadley. And we want to hear your stories as well. So please share. And Stephanie will share information on how to tell your stories in the chat. Don't be shy. We'd love to hear your stories. Camp and Frankel stories will continue to be shared at future events electronically and on social media. We'd love to post yours. And remember, when we do celebrate camp, we are celebrating Judaism itself. The Ruach, as I said earlier on, the bond, the common denominator, all the things that bring friendship and spring life upon us. Camp and Frankel is very much an example of that. And it's so great tonight to get to return to our roots. Thank you again for joining us. And I'm going to turn it over to Aaron. And Aaron asked if you would lead us in that Dura.
Thanks, Phil.
Friendship Circle.
So we're now going to do a virtual version of our closing Friendship Circle. Camp and Frankel will sing Hafinjan, and then our Camp and Frankel song, and then Rad Hayom. Although you'll be on mute, I encourage you to sing along from home or play along. I see Russell grabbing his guitar, and I suggest any of you do the same. And while we're doing that, if you want to remove the spotlight, I think it's important we'll be able to see each other and put it on gallery view if you haven't already. Camp's about community and being togetherness. And we'll sing Hafinjan. It goes like this.
And that being said, Aaron, Camp's about being together. Join us at the reunion, and please join us at the 75th Gala, November 2nd. There'll be never a chance to celebrate 75 years together again. Please join us November 2nd in St. Louis. Aaron, take it away.
Well said. Softly the evening wind blows, gold in our campfire glows. Although the evening's far gone, the fire still burns on and on. The embers glow, sending our song, never endings. Round and around goes Finjan. La 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 la. La 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 la. Sovev Hafinjan. The memories of Ben Frankel camp glow on a perpetual lamp. Although we soon will be gone, the fire still burns on and on. The embers glow, sending our song, never ending, as round and around goes Finjan. La 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 la. La 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 la. Surveil Svade Hoffenjohn. In the heart of our loved country stands the best camp in the land. It is known as Camp Ben Frankel, and we think it's mighty grand, mighty grand. Good friendship, fun, excitement in each long-lasting day. Hey, we know we'll always love you in our hearts. You'll ever stay.
1, 2, 3,
Thank you all for making tonight your priority, for joining us to celebrate camp virtually, to hear stories around our virtual campfire, and for being together. And as Phil reminded us, you can come do this with us in person. The songs, we can dance, we can see each other's legs, and we can be together. That's July 19th through 21st at camp for our reunion. Head to our website. We're expecting a real big crowd, and I see so many of you who are here already signed up. Can't wait to see you. Let's all say, Shalom. Shalom.
Lila Tov, everybody. Thanks for being a part of Camp and Frankel. Thanks for being a part of tonight. I have to say goodnight to my nephew, his wife, and my great nephew. Love you guys. Love all of you, and so glad to be with you tonight. Thank you.